Hello everyone, and welcome to this free-for-all showdown featuring the Greenskins, who shall be led by SKARSNIK, the Warlord of 8 Peaks. And I gotta tell you guys, I gotta be truthful, we most certainly have some serious schemes afoot. So this battle actually took place on one of my most recent streams, so some of you may have seen the battle, but it was just so good and so close that I figured it deserved its own video. So as far as the build goes, we're going to be using 4 spiders, one of which is going to be the Arachnaphobic Queen, the regiment of renown for the spiders, which can actually summon spiderlings, which are very, very powerful. I believe they have poison, give you some good backline harass, and yeah, it's just really good. But yeah, really, we don't need to talk too much about strategy. Free-for-all is kind of the place where memes become dreams, or reality, I should say. And here we have 4 spiders. So basically what we're going to be doing, we're going to be blobbing up our army in just a bit of a Death Star and using tricksy traps. So we have SKARSNIK, the Warlord of 8 Peaks, down here with the squig somewhere. I think he's like marching between. That's kind of like a cool bunch of goblins like just barriered here in between these 4 spiders. But anyways, we have SKARSNIK. We're going to use tricksy traps, which makes our entire army unspottable. So right now, all of my opponents, they're just seeing this big old blank spot here. Nobody knows where I'm going, which direction I'm going, which is really cool because, you know, free-for-all oftentimes does become a couple 2v2s. Like, for example, I would go fight the Dark Elves, and these guys, the Lizardmen, would probably go fight, you know, King of the Dead and the Vampire Coast over here. But in this case, you know, I can kind of choose where I want to go. My opponents aren't really going to know my plan, so it's the ultimate goblin scheme. Where are we going to go? Nobody knows. Well, I mean, they could find out relatively easily by sending some cav over, but this is going to be something that we're going to be doing the entire game. So we're going to be sneaking with tricksy traps, but more importantly, we have the Night Goblin Shaman. So this bad boy right here has Night Shroud, and if you overcast it, it becomes a big AoE, and it lasts like 60 to 80 seconds. It makes it so your army is pretty much invisible until you're right on top of the opponent's forces. So throughout the game, I'll do my best to kind of articulate when a unit is visible, when it's hidden, so you can kind of know what the schemes are up to, or know what schemes are afoot, I should say. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We have Nasty Skulkers to Warlords Boys, of course with SKARSNIK, it has to. We're going for a very thematic build, and to 8 Peak Loonies back here. So it's going to be quite a bit of fun. Just got goblins and spiders, and we're going to be sneaking up. So we're going to be facing off against King of the Dead, who's going to be leading the forces of the Vampire Coast. Noteworthy units on his roster are going to be the Gallows Giant and a couple bloated corpses lurking in the shadows, a bunch of bombers and chaff units. We have the Flying Taco, the champion of the extreme meme team over here, or in this particular game. He's going to be leading the Lizardmen, so it looks like he has Krokgar, he's got a big old angry Stegodon, a bunch of Saurus, pretty mean force here, and he does also have a couple of these Cold One Spear Riders who are going to be probably able to discover my force fairly easily. So yeah, you can see they're already heading in this direction. Probably a little bit suspicious that there are no goblins visible. So yeah, they're going to be running over there. And last but not least, we have the Bus Guy 555. So the Bus Guy coming in hard with mass shades. So he has shades with great swords. They all have stock, of course, and I think there was some way, for some reason I saw them in the beginning, I think, or maybe there was something else I saw, but yeah, he has mass shades with great swords, so they're going to be pretty decent in both ranged and melee combat, and this is not an army I want to fight. And I saw the Dark Elves, they had the Raven's Herald, I saw some bow units, and you know, I just didn't want to go over there, so I'm going to be rotating over behind the Lizardmen, trying to hope that they'll end up fighting the Vampire Coast, and from there, maybe the Dark Elves will attack the Vampire Coast as well, sandwich them, and I can just kind of sweep through the back and potentially get some good value. We'll find out. So the Dark Elves are also going to be led by Lokir Felhar on foot. So he does have the Kraken's Helm, so he's going to be a very tough cookie to crack, as he does have that perpetual healing. So the schemes are afoot. We're all stealth right now. The Night Shroud has been cast because Tricksy Traps has a very short duration. I think it's like 20 seconds or something. And you can see, look at the ticker on the bottom left. So if you guys look in the little tooltip, it's going to be lasting forever. I mean, this is a long time. So we're going to be able to get up pretty close to the dinos, but you can see here that Flying Taco, of course, being a very savvy multiplayer veteran, is going to be sending the Cold One Riders over to kind of investigate a little bit. And I was like, no, this is going to ruin the schemes. So the Cold One Riders are still pretty close, but guys, they do not see me yet. I'm still hidden. You can look at the tooltips here. Even this close, we are not discovered yet. That is how powerful the Night Shroud is, especially when you have it on your whole army. And only now we are discovered. So they're going to be charging in here. The goblins are coming in with their shanks. They're going to be getting these guys, dragging down some of these cold ones. And the 4 Arachnaphobic spiders are going to be moving in. We're definitely going to get some kills, but Flying Taco will be pulling back relatively shortly. I did pop the smoke bomb here in a moment, thinking that I had the radius on his center mass, but for some reason it missed, which I was really bummed about because that would have been, you know, some free points, which I would have been quite happy about. Anyways, over here we have the main fight. I should say the main fight is going to be underway here. You can see the Vampire Coast and the Lizardmen are going to be engaging here in the forest. Saurus are going to be engaging in the front line. And the Big Papa Gallows Giant going to be potentially roasting some Saurus warriors. Unfortunately, I feel like this unit is still just a little bit lackluster. Granted, when he's in melee, kind of flamethrowing everything on the ground, it seems to get some pretty good value. Now, in the back, we are able to pound those Cold One Spear Riders down. So we get some points. It puts us on the board temporarily, but nothing. It doesn't really mean anything at this point. And the Cold One Riders over here are also going to investigate the Dark Elves, who are also invisible for the most part. So the Shades are going to be opening up, but Flying Taco is able to pull those guys back before any substantial damage comes in. But there's going to be some dark magic as well, perhaps a Soul Steal or something else going down. But man, those Cold One Knights just got melted and rampaged. So at the very least, they do rampage on a good target. The Sorcerers right here, but they're just going to get melted by the Shades. Shades are actually really good in free-for-all. So over here, Golden Riders are also being picked apart a little bit by the Arachnok spiders. They're able to get some of that poking fire, and spiders actually do have pretty good missiles on the back. You can do some decent damage over the course of a very long fight. But in the forest, we have a pit fight. The big old Krokar is going to be getting in there with all the buffs, the Rev Crystal. We have the Sacred Spawning of Zodal, the Deadly Onslaught. He's actually doing a little bit of work against his Gallows Giant, but he's also taking some damage right back. Skinks have gotten up and around the back of the army, and you can see the bombers and everyone just throwing into the Saurus, and the Stegodon getting in there as well. But look at the burst damage coming down on Krokar, so he gets hit with something. I'm not sure what that was. Man, he just got punished. That was a ton of damage. So it must have been Count Noctilus with the anti-large plus the Wraith Storm, which I think was able to make just a square contact on him. So my army is now scheming, coming up and around the back, and we're going to be looking to get some points because we are in dead last. If you guys look at the scoreboard, King of the Dead is just taking it away. He's getting a ton of value here. Flying Taco has taken some casualties from the Golden Riders, from both the Dark Elves as well as myself, so he's definitely fighting on the back foot a little bit, but he's still doing a very good job just keeping that pressure with Krokar. And of course, he has good healing with the Rev Crystal, so he's definitely not in bad shape. But Noctilus here for the Vampire Coast, sitting in there, getting that nice bonus for his large halberd into Krokar, who's going to be pulling back here. And the Saurus in the front line are starting to wear through the deckhand mobs, Curse of the Midnight Wind, really buttering them up. And yeah, dinos are doing pretty good, but we're coming to ruin the party. We're the goblins. We're going to just make everything messy and violent. So the spiders are just going to be pile driving into the back of the Saurus and definitely helping out the very beleaguered Vampire Coast army. But it's not for any altruistic purposes. We're coming in there to get the kills. Now, throughout most of this battle, I'm going to be keeping SKARSNIK relatively safe because he's a little bit squishy. I mean, SKARSNIK does have a better HP pool than Grimgor. He has about 1,000 more HP, which is pretty funny. I think that's because it puts, like, Gobla and his HP together. But we're going to be very careful, just trying to pick apart the scraps and see if we can get those really good opportunities. So the spider's doing okay, getting some points for us here. The other spider right here is able to kind of chew apart these guys with the support up to 8 peak loonies. And we also threw a couple fanatics here who were able to kind of cleave a line. You can see the two pathways right here through these zombie park gunnery mobs, but it didn't really do the most damage. Now, if you look over here, the dinos have gotten some pretty good points, 3,700, but King of the Dead just far ahead in terms of just damage output and points. You can see here the Skink Priest is having to run, Krokar's running. Most of the dino infantry, partially because of my blindside, I think had I not blindsided him like that, I think that those Saurus and those other troops would have been able to eventually just maybe catch up on points and get through that Vampire Coast front line. But in this case, the spiders coming into the back definitely did a lot of damage, and now we're just getting in there and attacking the Prometheans, whatever we can really get, just trying to claw our way back, because the Dark Elves are just kind of reaving through. I mean, they're wasting a lot of ammunition here on the 8 peak loonies, I suppose, but no, it looks like he does have very good focus fire. So Bus Guy coming in and really punishing my spiders. Very well played there. He's easily going to clean up the 8 peak loonies here, who are unbreakable, but they're going out fighting for SKARSNIK, kind of holding things back, definitely making their people proud. But yeah, the Dark Elves are coming, and they're really going to be the X factor, because these guys have the hardest counter to my list. I mean, if I were to charge him with all my spiders, his focus fire from those like 4 or 5 shades, plus the other elements here, the repeater crossbows, and it would just devastate my line. I would be losing spiders left and right, and I'd probably just get eliminated right away. So of course, being a tactical, sneaky goblin, we're going to be sneaking back here, trying to just keep our forces together as far away as possible from the Dark Elves, which is working out pretty well because the Dark Elves are now starting to shoot the Vampire Coast. They're working down the bombers. Probably going to have a lot of space to work through. And the thing about Vampire Coast is they're not maneuverable at all. Look at that very nice little blade storm going down there, chewing up a couple skinks. But Krokar is able to get away. And now we're going to be retreating back to the forest. We're going to be going unspottable using the Night Shroud here in a moment and trying to see if we can get any freebies. So the Skink Priest with Heavens right here is in pretty good shape. He has about half health. And I think he's faster than us. Let's see, 50 HP compared to, and these guys have 57, so we're a little bit faster, but honestly, it's a bit of a wash. Like, I could chase him, and he could just kind of keep pushing this direction, and that would kind of pull me into the open a little bit. I more so wanted to go down, under, over here, get up around the back of the map, and start fighting behind the Vampire Coast, so then we could get that sandwich, and the Dark Elves would sandwich them, I would sandwich them, and they would be using their ammunition on the Vampire Coast and not on me. So here we're going to be pulling back yet again, and we do see some lonely Gary over here. So Gary's going to be waddling towards the edge of the map here, and he is a juicy target. He's much slower, I believe, than the Stegodon, who I think has speed in the 50s. Yeah, and he's in the 40s. So we should be able to poison him with the darts. And now we're going to be doing some classic Warcraft 3 tactics. So for anyone who ever played Warcraft 3, The Frozen Throne, or other RTS games that are very similar, I do a surround. So I get my spiders, 1 on the bottom, 2 on the top, and I pin him in so he's not able to escape or run. You can see it looks like Gary might be trying to push through, but with 4 spiders and their heavy armor piercing, you can see here they actually have 380 armor piercing damage. Well, 380 damage with a massive portion of that being armor piercing. we're able to get a ton of points off this this Bastillodon. So things are going pretty good for us. We're able to claw our way back a little bit, but still in dead last. I mean, King of the Dead is doing just massive on points. You can see 8,400. Flying Taco in second place. Now, the Dinos do have decent sustainability. Flying Taco could certainly get back into this game here. He has Krokar, he has a Stegodon, enough to really kind of, you know, just ramshackle the Stark Elf Force if he wants to. I mean, but he needs to be tactical about it. He needs to wait for the ammunition to run out, because if he tries to go in on these Shades right now, when they have, you know, 40, 50, 60% ammunition, it would be pretty bad for sure. Loki or Felhard's also in perfect shape. Does have 25 kills, has been cleaving the ground forces here of the Vampire Coast. The Vampire Coast actually has been able to reform a little bit. So they do have the Gallows Giant, they also have Rotting Prometheans, and I believe Count Noctiluss is in perfect shape, so things are going pretty well. And you can see, oh, look at this, the flamethrower just roasting. Oh, what a funny sight. The Gallows Giant just aiming upward and just roasting these Raven's Heralds out of the sky. Oh man, that's pretty ridiculous. But Raven's Heralds have good ammunition, really good AP. You can see they're actually killing these Rotting Prometheans pretty effectively. And this is where the schemes are afoot. So we've now casted the Night Shroud upgrade. Now let's go ahead and take a look. Hidden, we're hidden. Hidden, so even though they're shooting, they're still hidden. I do not believe that anybody can see these guys, which is awesome. So we're just kind of sneaking away and cackling. I think the Vampire Coast was chasing us over here, but when we went invisible, it just threw a complete X factor in things. So we're going to be creeping up the side of the map, just looking for the goodies. We'll do a little bit of fast forwarding as there's a little bit of posturing and chasing here. So the spiders are going to be going in after the source. I basically saw red. I'm just going in. There's some free kills here, and I don't believe you get points from chasing down shattered units, but the Saurus here are terrified, so we were able to claw back some points, and now we have a very, very juicy target here, the Sorcerers, as well as these Bombers, which are pretty beat up and definitely can get us some points on the board here. But yeah, we're really far behind, guys. We're going to have to get a ton of value fighting the Vampire Coast or the Dark Elves, and now you can see Krokar's coming in, and he gets a massive terror out on the Shade, so Flying Taco just going in with the Steel Chair, doing great work here. The swiftness of Itzel and the deadly onslaught going after the forces of Bus Guy. But Bus Guy is going to be doing an unintentional tactical retreat with this mass terror route right here. And yeah, all the Shades are a little bit blobbed up. You definitely should separate them, because, you know, if you were able to get Crossfire and Krokar, he could potentially take those guys down. So seizing on this initiative, Flying Taco's going in, he's occupying this massive force. I'm going to be going in and trying to get some free kills on these Shades, and they still have 60 models and really good ammunition. So the Arachnaphobia Queen is going to be summoning Spider Hatchlings, which are going to give me some good speed. They're pretty fast, 76 speed and poison. So we get on them, we poison them, and now these guys are just going to be getting shreked by the spiders. So the little Spiderlings getting in there, doing some pretty good work, and yeah. I think it would be kind of cool to make Arachnaphobic spiders a little bit better. I mean, they're still a really good unit, I think, but I think that, like, if when they got below, like, 40%, they dropped spiders, I think that would be really cool, kind of like how the Necroplex Colossus does that. Anyways, spiders are chasing down the Shades, getting us back on the board a little bit. We're clawing up our way, just with a solid rock-hard 4th place here, but we're going to be getting some points now. We're charging in, we're going after the Shades with Great Swords, we're going after these Shades right here, and there's still two very healthy groups of units right here. So those are all really good, you know, point. I was about to say point wells, but I guess they are in a way. And the Skink Priest here does have the Cold-Blooded, but he's broken. Krokar is basically just kind of chewing on the scraps on the edge of the map, which is a really good choice. They're not shattered, therefore I believe he still gets points from them, which means he could potentially get his way back into the 1st place. For example, if King of the Dead gets eliminated, I don't know why those. Sometimes when I'm casting, some words just kind of escape me. But anyways, if King of the Dead gets eliminated here, and Flying Taco is able to kind of be in 2nd place, be the last man standing, he then gets that huge boost, because if you are the last person standing, you get a ton of points. I think it's like 2,000 or 3,000 or 3,500 or something pretty substantial. Anyways, we're chewing on these guys right here. The Vampire Coast taking up a bit of a Helm's Deep here in the forest. They're now going to be charging out here, so the Warlord of 8 Peaks is in a little bit of trouble. I'm going to be popping Trixie Traps, trying to give him that speed, putting him up to 43, and SKARSNIK is going to be running here, but there's a lot of big scary beasts coming after him, the Gallows Giant, so this is going to kind of force my hand. Going to have to fight here, because SKARSNIK is going to get roasted by the Gallows Giant and all these other troops here. So the spiders are going to be coming in, just going in and fighting, and we're going to be just anchoring, and hopefully we're going to be able to chew through these forces. But just in terms of like raw power level, we have 4 massive, powerful spiders here. The amount of resources we have in this fight compared to the Vampire Coast is just, we have the massive advantage. So we should be able to kind of chew these guys out. SKARSNIK and company fighting in the pits. He's got his shank, but he's so small and hard to see amongst all these crabs. Nice chill wind coming down from the Dark Elves, and Big Daddy Pegleg is going to be moving through here, but you know, the spiders are going to be very good against the Gallows Giant, just like straight fighting. The Gallows Giant, yeah, it's, I guess it does have some defensive stats. His melee defense is 45. It is a regiment for now. I think regular Colossus have like in the 30s in terms of their melee defense, but yeah, spiders should be pretty good. So the Vampire Coast army is getting worn down here. The crabs and company are being beaten down by the spiders, so definitely going pretty well in that respect. And a lot of them are probably just going to be crumbling just through the sheer force of power that we have right here. So the wall has been popped. We get the speed, which doesn't really help, nor does the charge bonus, but We get that nice 20 melee attack buff on all our spiders, putting them up to 77, and you can quickly see that the Vampire Coast army is just crumbling here, so this is quite good, and we are actually almost out of last place. So Bus Guy's getting some decent fire here with the shades, shooting at my spider, which is unfortunate. So this one Arachnarch spider might actually break. You can see it's actually 22 leadership. I don't know why it's so confident, but it looks like it's just kind of fluctuating a little bit. Yeah, we're just mulching this Vampire Coast force. The 4 spiders just getting in there. We summon spiderlings as well, which really mucks up the zombie pirate deckhand mob polearms. Those guys basically are going to be wasting attacks on the spiderlings rather than getting that juicy anti-large on top of the spiders. However, Noctis is in here. We got Lokir Felhart, so pretty much all the lords that are still left here are going to be fighting in the pits, except Krokar. I think he's cackling in the shadows somewhere. The Skin Priest with Heavens has come back, and Krokar is literally in the Shadow Realm. He's just running off, getting those kills from the Shades, which isn't bad. He's kind of just letting us bludgeon each other before he comes back and tries to make his Alpha Strike. So the spider's getting in there, chewing on Count Noctis and company. The other spider was able to chase off these Blackheart Corsairs with handbows, but we are getting a ton of points right now. We basically just killed that entire Vampire Coast army. The Arachnarch spiders just swarming in there with the spiderlings, and more importantly, the Warlord of 8 Peaks trying to get a blast right there, but he does get kind of dazed at the last second, so he's going to be getting in there with his good old Prada and doing a lot of damage to the sorcerer. She's actually quite low, and Goblin gets in there, and the spider's coming in as well, so we're probably going to be getting the kill on the sorceress, which is going to be very nice. That's going to give us some pretty good points there, and the sorceress does go down to SKARSNIK, the Warlord of 8 Peaks. And from here, we're going to be just Tokyo drifting back in here and attacking the Gallows Giant, which we also kill. Maybe we had the kill sniped by some of the Shades, I'm not sure, but it does fall, which is good. And now these spiders are just straight up feasting mode. There was some resistance, but from here, we're going to be popping the Night Shroud or the Trixie Traps to get that speed on our spiders, and we're just going to be murdering these Blackheart Corsairs with handbows. And man, these spiders are so durable in FFA. I mean, 150 armor is definitely no joke, and just, man, the ability to have the stock, I think, is so much fun because you really don't like get compromised by artillery pieces or range. I mean, you can really pick your fights pretty well. So here we are unfortunately getting chased by Noctis, who's doing quite a bit of damage against SKARSNIK, so I can't have this again. And the King of the Dead is going to be forcing my hand, so the spider comes in very defensively, punting away Count Noctis, leaving the old boy himself, Lokir Felhart, in here to just be surrounded and feasted on by the spiders. So if we look at the battlefield, there's a couple Shades. There is Count Noctis right here. Krokar is coming back, and he's still pretty healthy. Now, Krokar really is an anti-large specialist, so if he's able to get in there and attack the spiders individually, it's going to be really bad. But with 4 spiders, I think we should be able to hold on. But man, it is very close. So suddenly, we're about to be claiming second place. We're only 800 points behind Busy Guy, or Bus Guy. And yeah, I don't know. I think we should be able to kill Lokir Felhart as well as Noctis. I mean, Noctis is a very good anti-large character, but just 4 spiders is so much power. The Arachnarch Queen, unfortunately, is getting very low. It does have 1,000 HP, but it has pretty good leadership, of course, being a very elite regiment for now. So here you could see that these guys are just being tossed around. The spider's just going to town. Lokir Felhart has lost about half of his health, and he's just going to be taking massive AP damage from the spiders, who are really just kind of chewing him up. So he's probably going to break there. We'll do some fast forwarding, as it is a little bit monotonous to just watch these guys be ping-ponged about. Krokar's coming back in, getting those free points. Very, very good play here by Flying Taco, just kind of feasting wherever he can, knowing it's very risky to go in. Hand of the Gods does go down. I believe he was targeting SKARSNIK, but here he comes. So Big Daddy Krokar coming in, Swiftness of Itzel, and the Deadly Onslaught has been popped, and he gets some pretty good damage on the Arachnarch Queen, who's actually shaken. 393 HP. Krokar might be able to kill the Arachnarch Queen, getting some pretty good points, but he is in 4th place pretty hard right now. I don't know if he's going to be able to get back, and the other spiders attacking him does actually force him away. So this Queen is going to be running, and I feel like these spiders still have that bug where when they run away, it's quite a bit faster than their natural move speed. But anyways, so we're going to be turning right here, attacking Count Noctis, and the Warlord of 8 Peaks again, claiming another head for his Prada here. He's going to be going in, and man, I would love to see Goblin actually eat Count Noctis here. But Noctis is going to be falling to the might of SKARSNIK in his Night Goblin Shaman right there. So we're able to take him out. And from here, King of the Dead has been eliminated, but he has a massive points advantage. 13,464. Pretty serious stuff. So we're going to need to get a little bit more point value here off Krokar and these other guys here. In the back, we do, of course, have these Dark Riders and the Shades coming back, and there still is a Skink Priest with Heavens over there. So we're trying our best, and Krokar is going to be taking the fight. He's pretty low, 1,200 HP, taking a beating from a couple spiders as well as the Night Goblin Shaman and the Warlord of 8 Peaks. You can see 355 HP. He's trying to get away. We're going to see if he can run. We do have the Bowfire as well, and Krokar is going to be falling to the wrath of the Arachnarch spiders. So we're able to kind of clean that up, and my apologies, I always call Arachnarch spiders Arachnarch queens. It's just kind of a weird thing because the queen is like so often used. So the product comes in going after the Lokir Felhart right here. Unfortunately, it's not the most accurate tool, and it does miss, but Lokir Felhart most certainly going to be falling here in a moment to the wrath of the spiders, and this is pretty much it, guys. Do I have enough points to pull ahead here? We're going to find out in just a moment, as the last unit here in the battlefield is going to be taken out. So what a crazy game, but really we kept a lot of our army alive, and win or lose, it was a great game. And guys, we were able to pull that one out. It was absolutely insane. Man, the reaction that I just had when I was on stream was just insane. For any of you guys who want to go back and watch it, it was super fun. But we won by like 40 points, give or take, by like 36 points, which is just ludicrous. 36 points is like one attack on a group of infantry units. We were just barely able to scheme our way out and pull that game out. And really, for any of you guys who enjoy FFA, I would recommend taking this build into a game with your friends, just sneaking around, ambushing. It is incredibly fun. I mean, Flying Taco did a really good job early on scouting us with his Coldman Rider, so we weren't able to get that like perfect ambush, but even still, we did sneak up eventually and get that really good blindside on the Lizardman Force. And from there, we were able to kind of regroup, go after the Vampire Coast and the Dark Elves, and yeah, we made it a game. It was super fun. So very well played to King of the Dead. Bus Guy 555 with the Shades definitely did not want to mess with your army, man. This thing was pretty serious business. I mean, Shades are just so heavy on the armor-piercing bows. They could have melted me if I went for them. And also Flying Taco, I mean, his Croc R play was very solid. He was roaming around, picking up kills where he could, and honestly, he got caught in that unfortunate situation where he just got blindsided between two armies, and even still, he held second place for most of the game and did a really good job. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this free-for-all game. It was just so much fun to play, and we will see you guys next time. Take care.